Meanwhile, while Homan was allegedly selling future government contracts, the immigration system he now runs has a little bit of a death problem. 15 people have died in immigration detention since Trump took office. 10 of those deaths happened just between January and June. Georgia Senators John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock say that the highest rate in the first 6 months of any year on record. I'm really not surprised, guys, and nobody should be. The senators are demanding answers from Homeland Security Kristi Noem about the conditions in these detention centers because apparently don't let people die in custody is now a radical position. And this is happening while the Trump administration is rapidly expanding the detention system. More facilities, more detainees, more private contractor profits. Like Stephen Miller investing in jails so that he can get rich while he is a terrible person. You know what we're not expanding? Oversight, medical care, basic human decency. But sure, let's focus on whether the guy running this system took a bag of cash. Because the real crime here is definitely the bribery, not the actual people dying in government custody. 15 dead people is just the cost of doing business, but 50 grand in a cabbage bag? Now that's a scandal worth investigating. Oh, wait. Never mind. We shut that investigation down too. So let me know in the comments what you think is more disturbing. A border czar allegedly taking bribes or 15 people dying in detention centers while we expand this system. Because apparently we can't investigate either one. And speaking of shutting down investigations, the Trump administration just canceled America's annual hunger report. Because they don't want us to know people are hungry. The one that tracks how many Americans can't afford food and kids that are food insecure, those types of studies. The USDA said the 30-year-old study was redundant, costly, politicized, and extraneous, and presented nothing more than subjective liberal fodder. Liberal fodder, like counting hungry people as a partisan activity now. So here's what that liberal fodder actually showed. 47.4 million Americans lived in food insecure households in 2023. Nearly 14 million of them are children. I know this administration doesn't care about kids. Have more kids, but you don't need to feed them, right? And food insecurity had increased from the year before as well. But here's the timing that's just chef's kiss perfect. Trump just signed legislation that will cut food stamps for 2.4 million Americans. And now he's going to shut down the report that would track whether more people go hungry as a result. What do you think, Donald? It's like setting your house on fire and then smashing all the smoke detectors so you don't have to hear them go off. The USDA claims food insecurity has remained virtually unchanged regardless of increased spending. But experts say that's bullshit. Makes sense. Last year's report showed hunger actually increased. So let me get this straight. We're cutting food aid for millions of people, and then we're stopping the collection of the data that would show whether that makes more people hungry. Because apparently the solution to hunger isn't feeding people, it's just counting the hungry people. Very efficient. Can't have a hunger problem if you don't measure hunger. Same logic is you can't have COVID if you don't test for COVID. So let's recap today's American experiment in democracy. We've got a lunatic president who talks to the UN like they're a bunch of children, and they're all secretly laughing at him because he looks like a little child with a AK-47, and nobody wants to say anything. We've got 15 people dying in detention centers while we, expand this perfect system. And we've got the government canceling hunger reports right after cutting the food aid. But hey, at least we're being efficient about corruption. Like, why have separate scandals when you can bundle them all together? So tell me in the comments what bothers you more, the brazen corruption, the deaths in detention, or the deliberate ignorance about hunger. Because apparently we can't address any of them. And if you want me to deep dive into how exactly you shut down an FBI bribery investigation, let me know, because the process seems pretty important to understand. If this daily breakdown of government dysfunction is helpful, smash that like button and subscribe, because tomorrow's news is definitely going to be worse. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another episode of Lies of the Orange Era. Like, subscribe, and let's document this authoritarian dictator and stop it now.